Good evening, heirs of Erdrick, and welcome to another exciting match of Dragon Warrior Randomizer. We are in the second bracket round of the 2025 tournament. We've got Diabetes the second versus Beta, the second letter of the Greek alphabet. Both of them have one victory. This is a best of three match, so whoever wins this is moving on to the next phase to take on either R and Polly or DK9146, and the other one is going home. We can see from their stats, they're starting with a meager 8 strength. They've got 12 agility, a decent amount of hit points to get them going out the bat, but this isn't a great amount of stats to have. Of course, we've got Tilo taking care of both the restream and the tracker tonight, so make sure you put out some love for Tilo as this race is going to be underway in just a few moments. I'm looking forward to seeing the result of this one. This entire bracket path, like this whole lower fork, is full of amazing contenders that have been playing here and over the years, really. Beta and Diabetes, of course, veterans and former tournament. I don't know if any of them have won one, but they've definitely had strong standings in the past. And so we are off. We're in a throne room. King is giving some instructions. We're going to see what treasures we have to help out. Starting off with Erdrick's armor. That should be an automatic reroll, in my opinion. But armor and gold. And, of course, a key. And both runners opting to hop right on out of there and see what they can do with the armor. Guess what? We don't care about that swamp. Charlotte Castle, literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tiles from home. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, a sword would be a little nicer at strength 8, but of course, it's always great to have Erdrick's armor. Like, no damage. I can plink away at this Drakey all day, get myself 3 experience points. Diabetes gonna try to take on this Ghost. Ghost a little bit harder to damage. Also has a little bit more hit points. Diabetes the first one to get his Ghost down, but Beta with that Drakey under the belt, once he gets his down, that will be level 2. And there it goes. Let's see what we get. 1 power, 7 response speed, 4 hit points, 9 magics, a repel spell, and a hurt more spell. Who cares about power? I've got hurt more. I've got some magic points. Let's spend them on a metal scorpion and get the level 3, please. Or maybe there are no hit points. He's looking for a swamp to die in. You can't die in a swamp because you have Erdrick's armor. Oh, the woe of not being able to cast Hurt More because you cannot die. Beta Strap gonna find a cave, though. It is the Jerk Cave. Diabetes still looking for something to take care of that final hit point. Also cannot die. Beta Strap working on just exploring the entire map while he's at it. He's got a Magician. He should be able to take this down. Might get him level 3. As long as it doesn't have anything nasty like a heal or a heal more or something. Did that Magician run away? That's hilarious. All right, but Beta Strut finally gets sent home, finally gets some of those magic points back so that he can cast Hurt More maybe 1 time. Diabetes finally finds that ghost he's been hunting, while Beta finds a town. It's the town of Garenham. We're going to find out what's inside the Garenham shop. We've got 300 gold to spend. Not going to get anything. I saw clothes there. I'm a big fan of the clothes. There was a flame sword. I think I saw a half plate for sale. Diabetes busts his ghost, gets his hurt spell, and is now in the same situation that Beta Strep was in. But Beta Strep takes down a green dragon with his hurt more, picks up 19. I don't even know how many levels that is. So it's level 5, it would appear. Is in a much better position now. A fantastic, efficient use of that one hurt more. Yes, our runners probably don't need to buy the clothes. Of course, when the armor is in the throne room, there is no way of getting it back. Might get the level 30 victory if such a thing were to happen. Anyway, Beta Strep herbing up, dons a scale of a dragon. Cast the repel so that we only see monsters worthy of a hurt more, and says, please, one more green dragon. 26, 5 more green dragons. Diabetes casting his hurt more on a wolf. He'll take that 40 experience points and shoot up a level or 2 himself. Meanwhile, Knight on Beta's side gets us another... I don't even know how many levels. It'll be a minute before we know how many levels they are, but that was only no spells. I don't think there was any attack power there. I think my cat might have said hello to y'all. Red Dragon on Diabetes side says, no, you go home. I will let you refill your magic, though. That is my gift to you. Beta with the Knight, hurt more, and down it goes. So we've got ourselves a nice start. Hurt more at level 2, Erdrick's armor in the throne room, another level for Beta Strep. Looked like it was a modest level at that. And yeah, a very lovely zone. Nice knights to just blast these things off, go back inside, use the inn, come back and blast some more knights. What is Diabetes fighting over here to the right? Let's see. Apparently nothing, as the empty desert says, I will give you no monsters. Oh, Wyvern's not bad. I don't think it's quite as nice as what Beta's been fighting. Like the Knight, I think, better experience. But he does pick up level 6. Maybe it was 5, 6. Farm it all, Knight. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Alright, here comes level 8. Let's see if we can actually read off the thing this time. We got 5, 3, 19, and 2, and no magic spells. Hurtmoring the Metal Scorpion. I mean, it's a target, I guess. 31 experience points. Can't die in this swamp. What's in the cave? Oh, that's the jerk in it. Alright, Beta's running away from the gold man, finds the town of Rimmeldar, is gonna beeline it to those keys. I don't think Diabetes has seen the ham yet, so it'll be nice to have keys when you get to Garenham. Meanwhile, Beta Strep just grinding right outside of the Garenham. Of course, Beta's grind has been very fruitful. He's got a pretty commanding experience lead, about 4 times the experience, which translates to about 2 levels at this point in the game. Diabetes gonna top off on keys and check the double key-locked chest inside of Rimmeldor. Rimmeldor. The first Rimmeldor is down, the second Rimmeldor is down, and we find some gold. So get the money from the keys back. Can use the inn. Beta also inning. We got twin inning happening. We're going to pick up a copper sword on Diabetes' side. And a leather armor. Maybe get rid of that Erdrix? No? Okay, I guess not. He will get the small shield, though. I mean, it would be a 10-minute reset, wouldn't it? He'd have to start all over. He'd know where things are, but yeah. And we got another town on Beta side. It is the town of Cole. It most certainly exists in this seed. We'll check the shop first. Broadsword, gonna go ahead and grab it. Broadsword confirms that Erdrick's sword will be on the search tile. Sorry, I lied. It was a death necklace. And thank you, Cherno. 11, 7, 13, 13 for level 9. A pretty good level, actually. That's a nice chonky level. Beta not quite ready for the golem just yet, as he's confirming certain dead ends to make sure he doesn't have to go back to areas. Finds a little mountain pass on this, I don't know what you'd call it, riverside here. River coast? Coastal riverside? Yes, Sky Reaper. Beta found very close to home Garenham town, which had several, like it had knights and things inside of a desert. And they picked up Hurtmore at level 2, and Erdrick's armor was in the throne room. So a jetty seed indeed. Diabetes gonna spend some keys to find some gold. A fairy water. A cursed belt. And a torch. Let's see what's behind Tantagel. Or did he already go there? Is he gonna do a slow grind on this gold? Well, I'm a little confused. Oh, I see. If the cave's underneath it, sets the gold grind up without having to return. That makes sense. Chat always on the spot with the answers. Appreciate you all. Meanwhile, Beta Strep has found, or just Beta, apologies. Oh, has found Charlock. I forgot it's right next to home. He's like, he's found it. It's at the very north of the map, though. Freebie Cave has more gold behind Charlock. No gold grind available within castle. Perhaps a new cave on Beta screen? 2 new caves? We've got a tablet cave. It is a free walk. You just have to make your way down there. No monsters. Diabetes will probably stumble across this pair of caves in just a moment as well. He's pretty much following the same path that Beta went. And Beta's going to find at the bottom of the cave a fighter's ring. He'll put that on for 2 additional attack power. Also useful if you want a Death Warp, you can use it as an item in battle, and it will advance the turn to the monster's turn. Diabetes now finding the knights outside of Garenham, and he wants a piece of the grind that Beta took much earlier in the game. Z hitting that rappel up. Beta Z. They're both Z. No, actually they're not. Diabetes is D. We got a blue dragon on the Swamp Spike, as Swamp North was the second of the two caves that Beta had found, and he's going to walk all the way through it, see what's on the other end of the Swamp Cave. Does not want to fight that blue D. He searches the stairs. He doesn't find anything on them. It would be an odd place to leave your coordinate inside of a cave. Meanwhile, Diabetes going to herb up in the Garenham, probably use the inn, fight some more knights. He has keys, so he can also check out what's behind here. So we'll probably get a Garenham backside. What do we call this place? The warehouse? What is what's the behind Garenham? What is that big giant building? I don't know. There was a large shield pickup by Diabetes, it looks like, as he gets his empty chest. A fairy water. And a fairy flute. So fairies apparently have been hanging out in the Garenham warehouse. I'm gonna start calling it a warehouse. Got a mediocre level on Beta's side. He picked up outside just in time to not be in the swamp cave anymore. Or to also be done with Erdrick's cave. But he can still use it in the grave if he so chooses to do a deep dive. Beats down a wizard, takes his 120 experience points. And it looks like Diabetes has found himself a mountain. I did not see what the first chest was. But we got a magic key in chest 3. And nothing in chest 4, which is probably an herb. And finally, a knight on top of a chest. Large shield pickup for Beta, as Diabetes takes level 8. Further delaying his check of the final chest, building tension for us to find a silver harp. Beta hits repel, uses the inn in Breckenary. Diabetes fights another knight inside of this mountain cave. Slowly catching up to Beta for that experience. Using fairy waters, conserving that mana. I can't speak. It is always nice to find that heart before the trade-in cave. You never like to have to double up. Oh, you know what? I was looking at Diabetes' gold, thinking it was his experience. Sorry about that, y'all. I apologize to you, Diabetes. You've got quite a bit of experience to make up there. So these wizards, they've got themselves a 50% stop spell, 75% hurt more. 0 stop spell resistance, though. And we find Hawksness. Beta checking his stats before walking up to this spike, as Diabetes takes a death to a stone man. And we got Red D on the spike. He runs from it. Red D bites for 26. He gives a second run attempt. And another bite for 30. Third run. He does not get away. Red D bites for 40 freaking 3 and says, "Go home. Come back to me when you have heal more." Meanwhile, Diabetes checking out Cantlin here. He's checking the armor shop. Let's see what we've got. Nothing of interest. Maybe looking for an upgrade for that sword. Perhaps a nice hand axe. Or he's creeping to the final chop. Will there be a hand axe there? There will not. No weapons whatsoever. We are going to get ourselves our coordinates check, though. Got to pop that door open. We don't care about barrier tiles because Erdrick left his armor in the throne room. And we are going to search 81 south, 20 east. Beta finally finding Rimmildar. So he'll get his keys and he'll have to do some of the checks that Diabetes was doing. That might give Diabetes a chance to make up some of the experiences. Beta will be spending some time in towns and things as he, checks all the stuff with keys. Diabetes takes down a green D, picks up his 11, 7, 13, 13 level, whatever that was, 9, I think. Betastrap with no homework items. Diabetes has a harp. Of course, Betastrap finally has his key, so he'll get his harp eventually. I believe it was somewhere that was locked behind a key. Maybe down in that mountain cave. Level 9! Hurtmore, of course, the VIP of this seed. Beta finding another town in a swamp. What does he find? He finds Cantlin. He's going to also check. No, he's not checking the armor. He's going straight on down to the coordinates, man. Find that it's a pretty long walk. Possible single coordinate check. I don't recall what the path south of Tantagel kind of looks like. And that is correct, Artorias. I do not believe we have seen the grave. Beatus found a couple of desert tiles to stand on and fight some wraiths. Beta gonna check the treasury and behind Tantagel. Nothing fantastic there, but he clears it out, makes his way to the right to see what's behind it. Diabetes continuing the grind, probably needs to pop up a rappel as he sees a Druin. Yeah, there it is. And let's see what else he finds along his travels. Nothing. Little peninsula there. Kinda looks like Spain, but tilted up instead of down. And Portugal. Spain and Iberia. How about that? Looks like Beta's picked up Sleep and Radiant at level 11. Of course, Radiant, the most useless spell in this build of the game, where Permanent Torch means that you don't need light sources. So My recommendation, and this is a soapbox that I will stand on and a hill upon which I will die, is that the Radiant spell should have the effect of Repel in dungeons, and Repel in dungeons should just be turned off. Then Radiant will have a use again. Thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk. Betastrep, gonna check the warehouse. Diabetes, gonna defeat a Wraith Knight. We got a Fairy Flute on beta side. Beta's topping off at the coal. Beta topping off his Repel, which actually should be Radiant because he's in a dungeon. He's going to drop that Dragon Scale for some Dragon Wings. A wise choice. They haven't picked up the return spell yet. If it doesn't turn up and you have an early, an early go level, it's always nice to have those wings in your pocket instead of having to make the walk of shame home. It is a very short walk of shame home. I think it's more than 8 steps. When I counted 8 tiles, that was like going through the block tiles. But yes. Betastrep does get his silver harp in the bottom of the mountain cave. Meanwhile, Diabetes gonna fight this blue dragon. Maybe doing a princess rescue. That 81-20 maybe is on a second continent kind of a thing. I also do not think Diabetes has seen the Hawksness yet. I could be wrong, though. He is going to turn in Princess Gwaelin, though. She will basically give him an item called the Gwaelin Positioning System. It's actually called Gwaelin's Love. But when you use it, it tells you your location from the castle so that you don't have to count those coordinates. You can just use it as an item. It is seen by some as a bit of a time sink because you have to rescue her. She takes up time at the end of the game. It takes time to open the item and for the text box to pop up and tell you where you are. But if it's not a countable thing, then it's not a countable thing, and she becomes very useful. Aaron 2u2 with his anti-Gwaelin emote there. I mean, Cherno, if we're gonna go that route, I think that we should be able to place her as like substitute move in Pokemon, like it places like the doll of her down and she basically takes a hit for you. I think that would be a better use for her. It's basically her getting eaten by the dragon. Alright, Diabetes finds the grave. I didn't catch that first one, but there's a cursed belt in the second chest. And there's Erdrick's sword. So Copper can go on the floor as Diabetes now has sword, has armor, has a large shield. Just needs himself a token and some stones. Maybe some old men to talk to. Back to the ground from whence you came, Copper. Tablet, I believe, did have the ring in it. I didn't see Diabetes go in there, but if I recall correctly, that's what Beta did when he was there. Alright, we got a golem situation on the right side of our screen. We get away from it. We have to herb a little bit as Diabetes continues the deep dive into the grave. He's almost there, though. One dab room to go. It's a magic key! We get our key back for doing the dive. And there are golems to fight, and Beta's gonna fight him. Probably just a death warp, though. Yeah. Without Healmore, Golem is a nasty monster. Even with Erdrick's armor. Now he does come back. He is at home. That is an interesting question. It looks to me like we're going to be grinding for some silver shields, yes. An SS enthusiast, even. Where are you going, Beta Strep? What is Beta doing? He's fighting wizards. He's maintaining a healthy XP lead. But he certainly isn't finding the things quite as quickly. The large Targe revolution. I tend to not go for silver shields. I do like the large Targe. It's a long time to grind that gold. But Betis does get his silver shield, trades in his large Targe for a 400 gold refund, and gets the heck out of Cantlin. Yes, I think that Nemo is the way to go. You make all equipment decisions based on like what sprite you chose. So, like Kirby should not have any equipment. Only rely on Hurtmore. Betis should only be allowed to equip clothes and a staff. But he can have the silver shield because it does. I agree. The silver accentuates it quite well. There's a secret level and a secret character inside of Kirby, if he inhales you. Oh wait, wrong game. I'm confusing myself with Final Fantasy VI. Sorry. Anyway, we're a half hour into this match. Both of our runners have all of the Erdrick stuff. They're looking for homework right now. They're level 11 or 12-ish. It's been a very quick seed with Erdrick's armor in the treasury and Hurtmore happening at like level 2 or level 3. Very early Hurtmore. And that's just got our runners going and just chomping at the bit. And with the caliber of runner that we're seeing, it's has been and will continue to be a very close race. Beta has an experience lead, but Diabetes, I think, has seen more of the map, although that might not be so true anymore. Anyway, where are you now, Beta? Oh, he's going north through the swamp cave. He's gonna go rescue the princess, I think. Diabetes finds an interesting little isthmus. I don't know what you would call that, like a Panama. He's going through that. He found one of those things. And it keeps going around. There's a little path, a little beach path through those mountains. Beta taking the slightly longer walk to turn in the princess. And Diabetes confirming that this is in fact a very long, convoluted dead end. Yeah, I don't believe we have seen the Staff of Rain guy yet. He's out and about, but he's hidden his cave pretty well. The old men are being shy tonight. So Beta's coming out of the bottom right corner of the map. Finds a little swampy spark over bridge. Beta fighting the wizard. All right, we've got a fairy flute cast on a golem here. Meanwhile, Beta picking up 2, 4, 6, 10, and a stop spell and a heal more finally at level 13. Heal more makes a lot of fights more viable. Even the golem without a fairy flute becomes a thing you can do with 101 AP and heal more. Beta trucking through this swamp cave. I'm not sure where he's after, but he looks like a man on a mission. Beta's also through the cave, pops into Breckenary for a quick dip at the 6 gold inn. Undoubtedly looking for his stones, looking for his token. One of these has to be in Hawksness, I believe. I don't think we've seen a Hawksness anywhere. And the other one... What else haven't we seen, folks? We've seen a full mountain, I think. We've seen a full grave. We've seen a Rimmildar. Beta saw Hawks and it was a red dragon. I do remember that. And the red dragon said, come back when you have heal more. And now he has heal more, so maybe he's looking for... No, he's counting. And there's Diabetes. He's also going to meet Red Dragon. 84 hit points. Silver Shield. Nope, he doesn't want it. I mean, if you just crit. Just crit everything. Beta is a Red Dragon farmer right now. Actually, 38 MP, so maybe not a farmer, but he's definitely going to take down at least one. I would probably sit down and take at least to the next level's worth. Got a Gwalen check on Diabetes. He's very close, about 19 tiles too far away on the east-west side of things. And there's a token. So both runners got their count bit done. Beta getting another swing on Red Dragon. It finally goes down. He picks up his 350 experience points. He searches the ground. He finds the Stones of Sunlight. And now we really, really, really want to see that old man to turn in the harp to get the staff. Beta does not want any more Red Dragons, at least not at the moment. It took a little bit of time to take that thing down. Beta swinging through this golem here. He takes him down for another 350. Pops the heal more. He's got one more of those in the bank. Diabetes hitting repel. Searching different area of the map. Finds a little bridge to a new section. Perhaps unexplored. Beatus returns home. He's gonna refill at the Magic Man down in the south of Tantagel Castle. And he uses the return to get out. Love it. Saves time. Alright, Diabetes the second now gonna maybe try to take on the Red Dragon. He knows that it's there. Still hasn't got his Heal More spell, but this will probably go down. Yep, he had enough with the swings that he had. Takes it down, he searches the floor, he finds another Stone of Sunlight. And now both of our runners have all of the stuff, minus the Staff Trade-In Cave. And if I remember correctly, the Jerk was pretty close to home. Like, he was the first cave that everybody found. And I see a cave on Beta Stream. This might be what we're looking for. Oh, Beta does need Erdrick Sword. You're right. Where was that thing? Go to the grave. That's right, it was in the grave. Golem goes down, yielding another 350 experience points and a level. We've got 4 more power, 1 response speed, 4 hit points, 12 magics, and the heal spell. And there's our staff cave, right where we left it. Beta gets out, pops the rappel, and now needs to make his way back to the jerk cave. And needs to find grave 3. Fortunately, he doesn't need to dive the deep grave, right? Beatus went all the way down there, so that's another kind of time advantage, even though it's already happened, right? I don't see Beta diving the deep grave to find the death necklace. Swamp Spike is a blue dragon. Red dragon in Hawksness. There's golems, as you can see, all over the overworld. There's been nice things to fight in the overworld for quite some time. Again, they started with Hurtmore, and there were knights very close to home. That's what Beta got his experience lead on, was he very, very quickly found the Hurtmore and the Night Desert Zone near Garenham, and just sat there for a little bit. And that's kind of what propelled him forward. However, Diabetes did get more exploration done, and that's the conundrum you see ourselves in right now. Like, Beta still needs to find that sword. Whereas Betis can settle in to a grind as soon as he turns in his drop, or, you know, if he knows where the drop is, which he does, he can settle into a grind before that as well. Oh, and you're right, the death necklace was found. Maybe he really wants that herb, or, you know, his key back. There is a key at the bottom of the grave. I would be angry about having to spend a key, so I might go down there, you know, key for a key. And yes, Beta did get his drop. Frees up a couple of inventory spaces. And Beta finding another red dragon, and he is fighting it. When you spend 45 minutes without heal more, but having hurt more, you kind of forget about that thing. Alright, so Beta grabbing Fairy Waters and then popping another return home. He's going to hit a repel and settle in on what he decides is a grind, or maybe he just pops into Charlock here? No, he's looking for something. Or maybe he's going to top off and go to Charlock. I don't know. What are you doing, man? Oh, you've got to get your sword. That's right. He has to go into the grave. I keep forgetting that he doesn't have his sword yet. I know it's on the tracker right in front of me and I can see it, but don't ask me to look at things, okay? He could be betting Charlock, but if he's going down here... He's trying to remember, where didn't I go? Where's my grave? Where did I leave that pesky grave? There's the grave. So we found a beta torch. We got a beta belt. And there's our beta sword. Meanwhile, Diabetes fighting this red dragon in Hawksness. I think he's going to sit here for his experience grind. Yeah, it's Red D. I mean, their bites are not nice. You know, they still bite hard, but they're reasonable to deal with. It turns them into basically a mini Dragon Lord fight. Sure, you gotta burn some MP, but at 350 experience a pop, levels come pretty quick. Beta stopping off at Breckenary. I don't know if 125 AP, yeah, he's going back for some experience, and we're going to have some double dragon action happening on our screen in just a moment. Here we go, twin red dragons, folks. If you cross your eyes just right, it will become a stereoscopic 3D image. Get your VR headsets on. Red dragons be popping out at you. But with both runners essentially on the same dragon, stats are not that much better from 13 to 14. This 1,000-point lead that Beta has will probably be continued. Diabetes will need to refill first because he's got fewer magic points. Beta most certainly will be able to get to level 7, or rather level 15, which, oh yeah, that one there gets him. So let's see what 15 has. There's 10 power, 1 response speed, 32 hit points. This is a go. Let's get there. Could even throw on the death necklace if you wanted to, but probably not necessary. So let's think about the Sharlock monsters we've seen. These red dragons are a pushover. Worst case scenario, it takes you 3 runs to get away and you have to burn a heal more. I don't know that we saw anything horrible on the AK-47s. I know we've seen them. I don't recall really seeing sleep on anything. So I expect this is going to be a pretty tame dive as well, as Beta has made his way into Sharlock Castle. Beta meets a blue dragon on the first floor, gets away from it. I'll let you armor stats enthusiasts let us know what he's repelling at level 82, or at DP 82. It doesn't seem like he's seeing a lot of stuff on his walk down. Only wizard. Maybe this zone is, 2 out of 5 wizards. I'm not sure. But he don't see nothing. He's in the diamond room now. Another blue dragon, another escape. Yeah, that's all we've seen is the blue. There's a red dragon, something a little bit more difficult to run away from. He gets blocked once, gets away the second time. He'll use an herb. And there's an Axe Knight also blocking the path. Diamond Room is done. You got more red dragons. As Beta proceeds into the little twisty bendy room where you can go to the judge's table if you want to, but I don't think he'll do that. But imagine if he did, right? Like, I went to the judge's table just because, just so that you guys could see what was there. That's the kind of runner that we need. Anyway, we got blue dragons, we got red dragons, dragons running all over the place, dragons in race cars, dragons racing, drag racing, I believe is what they call it. The National Hot Rod Association sponsoring this dragon race. They're not really. I don't know why I just said that. Beta gets away. It looks like red dragons in all three zones. Not that they're much to worry about, but they're annoying, you know. They're hard to run from. Beta in the lit up room. Diabetes continuing to grind this red D. He's going to hit level 15 here and probably do the same thing that Beta did, prep out and make his way to a dive. Yeah, there's that return as we meet an Armored Knight on the spike tile at Sharlock. I don't know if it's possible to do a full Dragon Lord fight and finish the game in 4 minutes, but we're going to be very close to an hour here as Beta settles in, starts mashing that B button so that he can become a fool. Beta does put on that dragon, or rather death necklace, bringing him up to 145 attack power. Gets hit with a hurt more, swings again. Hits with another hurt more. He does have herbs, but he's not going to use them. He'll go ahead and take down his Dragon Lord in 3 shots. Move on to DL2 fight. Beta swings first, hits him for 17. Diabetes entering Sharlock. We're at 31. $51. There's a big 20. $63 with a little 12. $77. $92. I think 91 maybe. I don't know. I've already unmathed myself. 96. I've lost my math, you guys. I'm not supposed to be counting things. I'm just supposed to be running my mouth. So I apologize. I unmathed it. Beta Strap's gonna kill this Dragon Lord. Probably in the next swing. How about that? Nope, Dragon Lord breathing fire. He hit him with a little 13 there. This next one ought to do it. Heal more up. And that's a dead Dragon Lord. Get those GGs out. Beta's Ball of Light is nourishing the land. He's gonna use that return spell and talk to the king. He'll have to talk to the princess too, because he did do a princess rescue, as did Diabetes. It was a princess seed. walking behind the trumpeters. Please, wait! Let me consume some more seconds. And that looks like an official race time finish of 58 minutes, 42 seconds. If you hadn't got them out already, get those GGs out. I was speculating whether you can beat the Dragon Lord and all of that in under 4 minutes and get home. And apparently, yes, you can even do it in under 3. So well done there. Diabetes on the back stretch of the bottom floor of Charlotte Castle. So he'll be starting his fight in just a moment if this red dragon will let him go. It's going to herb up. It's walking through the beaches there, gets past his Axe Knight. He's going to meet the Armored Knight here on the spike. Gets past it, no problem. He'll herb up for the walk to Dragon Lord. Stone Man gets in the way. As does another Stone Man. It's a Stone Man corridor. Diabetes agrees to be a fool. Dragon Lord draws near. He does not put on a death necklace. Gets stop spelled on the first attack. Gets a punch on the second attack. This is an excellent Dragon Lord start. Like, that's what you want to see is stop spells and punches. Goes into Dragon Lord 2 fight with 128 hit points. Gets the first swing. Hits him for 11. Opening double. We're at 27 at this point. Opening triple. We're at 33 at this point. 43 at this point. $55, I think. $71. Nice hit point total. 82. $94. 105. No, 107. $116, unless I missed a swing. 131. $144. Next swing should do it. $155, Dragon Lord down. $146, Tila. See, that's, again, I should not be the one speaking the numbers. Unfortunately, I'm the only one speaking, so you just have to deal with whatever drivel rolls out of my mouth. But Diabetes has completed his Dragon Lord. Get those GGs out. He's going to get trumpeted at and having to talk to a Gwaelin as well. But a very good, close race. Beta kind of just got that opening push. He found that early grind on the Knights and just used it to steamroll on through. But a great race either way as Beta clinches his next phase in the bracket, and Diabetes will have to step out for the rest. And I think Beta is in the booth. GG's, good game. How did you feel about this pretty quick seed?
I felt the same way as I felt about the 2 sword starts. It was just another scenario of panic because Hurtmore came early. We started with Erdrick's armor, so things were just free from the get-go. I mean, I regretted that opening walk where I was just like, I was hoping something would kill me. I wanted the wizard to kill me, but then it cast stop, so I'm like, oh no. because I didn't have an EMP, and then so that just wasted time. And then I found that sweet night zone next to Garenham, and I felt like that was the key to everything. Although with my exploration luck or lack thereof, seeing the sword in the grave and last locating the grave made me very concerned, because if I had had the sword much earlier, it would have made the red dragon a heck of a lot faster when I was swinging on that and swinging on the random golems I was seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. That early, really, that night zone was the main difference between it. You guys did have differences in terms of your exploration, but that was kind of what propelled you from the start, and then you just kind of maintained it because you got all of those things just a step sooner. Heal more a step faster, this a step faster, regardless of the sword. Diabetes, it looks like you've joined us as well. Welcome in. Very well run game. What were your thoughts in this, as we were calling it, rather jetty, rather quick seed here?
Yeah, I mean, the sword wasn't in the throne room, but Erdrick something or other was. It's the third seed in a row like that. It's the third seed in a row where it just feels like a crazy mad dash, and I hope that you go in the right direction and find things in the right order. And that did not happen for me in this one, especially with the early Hurtmore on top of it. So it really was another one of those jet seeds, as you said, and too many small inefficiencies in this one for me, unfortunately, and the monster level that just made it go from maybe to it's super duper free.
Yeah, absolutely. As I think you might have heard me allude to earlier, that opening with having Erdrick's armor and then Hurtmore coming, I think it was level 2 or level 3. It just so happened that Beta had made his way to right outside Garenham, where there were knights and stuff in that desert, and he was ready to just camp out there. I don't think you had quite found that. So I mean, you were using your Hurtmore on things, but like wolves versus knights, the knights kind of win out on that experience race. But still, to be 4 minutes separate, despite that difference, very exciting. You were starting your dive as Beta was finishing his, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's those are always, like I said, it's tough. I went west first, so I found like the Wyvern Wolf area and tried to do a little bit with that. But I mean, it took me almost 4 minutes to get to level 2. So already off the bat, I'm sure it was a little bit easier than that to get to level 2. I just could not find a second ghost to get me there, and that's where Hurtmore was. I thought I maybe had a bit of an advantage, with Cantlin really close to home, Rim also very close, having coordinates early, being able to rescue the princess basically right off the bat, and not have to worry about trying to count to the second continent as it turned out. But then 100%ing the map, running out of resources to kill the red dragon for level, what was it, 15? That was the final level. Like 30 XP short, and then running into like 11 encounters on the walk back to Breck, all of which were slimes or golems, which I was not going to be able to. Well, I guess a golem I could have defeated, but yeah, just too many inefficiencies in this one.
Absolutely. It rolls that way sometimes. So Beta, this victory clinches your next step forward in the tournament. You'll be moving on to the, I don't know what you call this section, the Elite Eight, I suppose. What are your thoughts moving forward? You'll have to take on Arn Polly or DK 9146. What are you thinking moving forward to the next step of the bracket?
I think it's just more of the same. It's just one brutal matchup after another for this side of the bracket, and I said before when I saw the bracket revealed that whoever advances to the finals out of this quadrant is just gonna have to go through a total gauntlet of just nonstop, just top tier runners all the way through, and hopefully I continue to play well. Like, I feel like I've been playing pretty decently the entire tournament. There's like a couple routing luck seeds. Like, this is another, like, any jet seed like this is basically routing luck in some way or another. Like, I also full cleared the map, by the way, but with the way this played out, it felt like it was a routing luck to the best grind as soon as Hurtmore came, and then like that unlocks everything else, because you couldn't really do anything with that red dragon spike until you had heal more. So And the Blue Dragon Spike in the Swamp Cave was also useless. So I also wanted to do a reverse, but then like I couldn't really get a good sense of where the right side was on the second continent, so I didn't want to chance it and have to do a spam search on the row, so I rescued the princess, sadly.
Yeah, I feel you on the like looking at the map again and kind of figuring out as I'm kind of glancing at it. It's like, I mean, outside of just the wasteland south of Graven Swamp Cave, there really wasn't like you kind of had to go everywhere, kind of in retrospect. So that's probably not what did me in necessarily, but and I was fortunate. I really only had to go to the second continent once. I mean, eventually I went back to grind, but it was a bit unfortunate that I left when I did because I hadn't found Staff Cave yet. So it's like, well, should I go look for that now? Should I grind to go and then go searching? And then if I can't find it, I'm gonna have to be rewalking the map again. So that might be the one thing that could have potentially got me back in it because that was really inefficient to go home and then be doing all this walking back and forth to get back to a grind spot. But well played, Beta. It was a crazy three-game series here. I'm glad we moved to best of 3 throughout because man, that's 3 absolutely S tier races. I think from you for sure. From me, maybe a couple of S's and an A tier run, but congrats. Good luck moving on. And you're absolutely right. This is an absolute gauntlet as the summer tournament really has turned into in general. And best of luck moving forward.
Thanks. GG's to you as well. I mean, I'd be okay with best of 7s, honestly. Like, I joked about that with Cardinality in round 1, because it's just like, when you get these pairings, oftentimes you're dealing with very tight races, unless it's like a really goofy map where somebody goes the right way and wins by 10 minutes. But generally, if you don't have that type of map, you're going to have really tight races like this just over and over again, which is like, it's great for the viewers, but for me, and I'm assuming for many other runners, it's insanely stressful that you know in the back of your mind that you can't really give away time because your opponent is doing things pretty efficiently too, and you just have to hope you don't get unlucky at the end. There's a lot of that in this series.
I'm glad that it wasn't decided by some end game shenanigans this time. I mean, I wouldn't say either of us got lucky. Well, maybe a little bit I did in game 2, but I got unlucky for sure in game 1. You got unlucky in game 2 with the dive luck. I'm glad that this one was pretty much just straight up who played it better.
I'm looking at the stat screen right now where it's frozen for the both of you, and it's interesting that you both have exactly 117 attacks, exactly 2 crits, exactly 10 ambushes, but Beta has 11 run blocks, whereas Diabetes, you had 22 of them. Just an interesting thing how all of those lined up just perfectly exact. But again, fantastically raced between the two of you, and just really happy to see all of this. Any other final thoughts before we close this thing out?
I'll just say on behalf of the admin side, thanks again to the cast and crew and all of our volunteers. It's been tremendous trying to get as many of these races on board as we can. Obviously, we've got a couple of rounds left, a couple games left in the series here in the round of 16, so we would greatly appreciate it. To the audience, hopefully we've always been putting on a good show. Hopefully I did as well throughout this. And as I kind of bow out here to the better runners, or those who are at least going to advance, just hope everything goes well for everybody, and good luck to everybody moving forward.
Yeah, I'll just echo what Diabetes said. Thank you guys for volunteering to cover this. I've been kind of out of volunteering for the moment just because I'm tied up with, like, I'm focusing very heavily on my own tournament run, trying to keep very narrowly focused on that to make sure I continue to perform up to what I expect I should be doing. But with a little bit of a time off here until the next round, I'll probably volunteer for one of the remaining races for coverage to help out, because we've really been struggling on that, I've noticed so far.
Well, we hope to see you in, but of course, yeah, focus on that tournament. We want to see those really close races. So absolutely do that. But we do appreciate all of the volunteers coming in, myself included. I'll give myself a pat on the back for that, as well as Tilo, who's taking care of the restream tonight, as well as the tracker. If you are interested in tracking, doing a restream, doing communications, giving some of the speaking, have a look at the Discord. It's really easy to get into. There's lots of guides to show you how to do it. Everybody's really nice and they'll help you out. So definitely a little call out for that. Thank you everybody for tuning in tonight, as well as our runners. Make sure you give them a follow. We are going to be rating Carant, who is, I think, doing a practice run of Dragon Warrior Randomizer. So there's more Randomizer to watch tonight, even though no officially sanctioned race. So enjoy that, and we'll see you next time.